You think you're private. You think you're careful. You think the version of yourself you show the world is controlled. It isn't. You leak information constantly through your words, your pauses, your confessions, your jokes, your honesty. And while you're busy believing that openness makes you real, others are quietly cataloging you, measuring you, deciding how far they can push, extract, or discard you. You are not being listened to. You are being assessed. Right now, as you listen to this, you are already behind. Not because you lack intelligence, but because you reveal too much too easily to people who understand power better than you do. They don't need your secrets, they need your tells, and you give them freely, thinking it makes you human, thinking it makes you liked, thinking it makes you safe. It doesn't. Machiavelli understood something most people never accept. Visibility is vulnerability. The moment others understand you, they begin to control you. The moment they can predict you, they can move you. The moment they know what matters to you, they can threaten it, subtly, socially, invisibly. Power does not come from dominance alone. It comes from asymmetry, from knowing more than you reveal, from seeing while remaining unseen. You live in a world that rewards confession. People call it authenticity. They call it connection. They call it trust. But underneath that soft language is a brutal biological truth. The human mind is wired to exploit weakness and leverage advantage, not always consciously, not always maliciously, but inevitably. Every social environment is a hierarchy in disguise, and every hierarchy feeds on information. The predator watches, the prey explains. You have been trained to explain yourself, to justify your choices, to narrate your feelings, to announce your intentions. You think this makes you understood. In reality, it makes you predictable, and predictability is the currency of control. Once someone knows how you think, they don't need to overpower you, they only need to wait. Machiavelli warned that men lose power not through attack, but through exposure. When you reveal what drives you, you hand others the map to your behavior. When you reveal what you fear, you tell them how to stop you. When you reveal what you want, you show them how to manipulate you by promising it, delaying it, or threatening its loss. This is not paranoia. This is pattern recognition. Look closely at the people who dominate rooms without speaking much. They are not silent because they lack thoughts. They are silent because silence gathers information. While others talk to be seen, they listen to see through. While others confess to feel close, they observe to gain position. Their restraint is not shyness, it is strategy. You, on the other hand, have been taught that holding back is dishonest, that privacy is insecurity, that guardedness is weakness. This is one of the most effective lies ever sold to the powerless, because a person who feels guilty for withholding information will eventually surrender it, voluntarily, repeatedly, and once surrendered, it cannot be reclaimed. Understand this: every time you reveal something personal, you shift the balance of power, not dramatically, not immediately, but cumulatively, like water eroding stone. A comment here, a story there, a confession wrapped as humor, a complaint disguised as bonding. Each one lowers your strategic altitude. People don't need to hate you to use you. They only need to understand you. This is why Machiavelli favored ambiguity, why he respected controlled distance, why he warned against appearing too transparent, too sincere, too emotionally available. Because the world does not reward purity of intention, it rewards mastery of perception. Those who survive longest are not the most honest, but the most unreadable. You are living among hunters trained to spot patterns, socially, professionally, romantically, even among friends, especially among friends. And the most dangerous ones will never attack you openly. They will let you expose yourself, then move accordingly, exclude you, influence you, undermine you, or keep you close only as long as you remain useful. This is where the illusion breaks. The 5 things you must never reveal are not dramatic secrets. They are not crimes or confessions. They are deeper than that. They are psychological pressure points, internal coordinates, signals that tell others how to approach you, how to disarm you, how to bypass your defenses without resistance. Most people reveal them before they realize they exist. If you think this is about becoming cold, you've already misunderstood. This is about becoming precise, about choosing when to be seen and when to disappear, about deciding what version of yourself enters the social arena and what remains untouchable. Power begins where explanation ends.
You believe your desires are harmless. You think speaking them aloud makes you honest, motivated, alive. But the moment you reveal what you want, what you crave, what you hope for, what you are moving toward, you surrender leverage. Desire, once exposed, becomes a handle, and handles are meant to be pulled. The first thing you must never reveal is what you truly want. Not casually, not emotionally, not strategically, never fully. Machiavelli understood that desire is the engine of behavior. To know a man's desire is to know his future, what he will tolerate, what he will chase, what he will compromise for. Desire narrows the mind. It creates urgency, impatience, vulnerability. A man in pursuit is no longer sovereign. He is reactive. When you announce your goals, you think you are declaring ambition. In reality, you are announcing dependency. You are telling the world what you need in order to feel complete, and the world listens, not to support you, but to position itself between you and what you seek. Observe how quickly dynamics shift once your desire is known. The moment you admit you want approval, people withhold it. The moment you admit you want connection, people delay it. The moment you admit you want power, others test your restraint. Desire invites obstruction because obstruction creates control. This is not cruelty, it is instinct. In every hierarchy, those who want something badly are placed below those who do not. Hunger signals weakness, calm signals surplus. The one who needs is always negotiating from below, even if he believes he is asserting himself. This is why seasoned strategists never rush. They never reveal urgency. They let others speak first. They let others want more. They let others chase clarity, because the one who wants least dictates the terms. When you tell people your plans, you believe you are gaining accountability. What you are actually doing is dispersing your focus. You absorb reactions, doubt, envy, false encouragement, subtle sabotage. Even well-meaning responses dilute intention. Energy leaks. Momentum dies quietly. There is also a deeper danger, one most people never see. Desire, when spoken, becomes identity. You begin to perform it, defend it, align your ego with it, and now you are trapped. If circumstances change, you cannot pivot without losing face. You become loyal to a version of yourself that may no longer serve you. Others expect consistency, predictability, completion. You are no longer free, you are narratively bound. Machiavelli warned against binding yourself to outcomes prematurely. A ruler who declares his intentions too early loses the advantage of surprise. He gives enemies time to prepare. He invites resistance before power is consolidated. Silence, in contrast, preserves optionality. It keeps the future fluid. Most people do the opposite. They announce before they act. They speak before they secure. They expose the seed before it takes root. And when it fails, they call it bad luck. It wasn't. It was exposure. Understand this clearly. Your desires are not meant to be shared. They are meant to be protected, refined, executed in silence. The world does not need to know what you are building until it exists beyond interference. This applies everywhere. In work, those who reveal ambition too clearly become targets, either exploited or blocked. In relationships, those who reveal emotional hunger lose polarity and mystery. In social groups, those who reveal their need for validation become dependent on it. In all cases, desire creates asymmetry, and asymmetry is exploited. The powerful learn to invert this. They let others reveal their wants first. They listen without reciprocating. They nod. They remain ambiguous, not cold, but contained. They never rush to clarify their position. They allow others to project, to guess, to invest. This creates psychological gravity. People are drawn to what they cannot read. They are cautious around what they cannot predict. They defer to what seems complete without them. When you reveal your desire, you move towards others. When you conceal it, others move towards you. This is the first inversion of power. You don't eliminate desire. You discipline it. You internalize it. You remove it from the social arena and keep it in the strategic core. You act from it, but you do not announce it. The moment you feel the urge to explain what you want, pause. Ask yourself, who benefits from this information? In most cases, it will not be you. And now that you understand how desire exposes you, the next layer becomes visible. Because what is more dangerous than revealing what you want is revealing what you fear. That comes next.
Fear shapes behavior more reliably than desire ever could. You can negotiate with ambition. You cannot negotiate with avoidance. The second thing you must never reveal is what you are afraid of. Most people expose their fears without realizing it. They call it vulnerability. They call it self-awareness. They call it honesty. But fear, once identified, becomes a leash, and the one who holds it never needs to pull hard. Machiavelli understood that fear is not merely an emotion, it is a control system. A man's fear tells you where his boundaries collapse, what he will avoid at all costs, what he will sacrifice to feel safe. If you know this, you do not need to confront him, you only need to position the threat. Human beings are biologically wired to move away from danger faster than they move toward reward. Fear bypasses logic, it overrides dignity, it compresses time. When fear is activated, the mind seeks the fastest exit, not the best one. This is why fear is such an effective instrument of power. It doesn't need to be applied constantly, it only needs to be known. When you reveal your fears, you believe you are building trust. In reality, you are teaching others how to silence you. The colleague who knows you fear conflict will dominate discussions without raising his voice. The friend who knows you fear abandonment will withdraw affection to gain compliance. The partner who knows you fear being alone will push boundaries, knowing you will tolerate more than you should. The superior who knows you fear instability will increase pressure, confident you will not resist. None of these people need to be malicious. Fear does the work for them. This is why Machiavelli warned against appearing weak, not in strength, but in resolve. He knew that men are judged not by their capacity, but by their limits. The moment your limits are visible, your position is compromised. Fear, once externalized, becomes an invitation. You must understand something uncomfortable. Most people do not protect your vulnerabilities, they adapt to them. They recalibrate their behavior in ways that serve their interests. They may still smile,
They may still speak kindly, but the internal calculation has changed. This is why the powerful never confess fear openly. They may acknowledge risk, they may analyze danger, but they do not reveal what unsettles them emotionally. They do not show what makes them hesitate. They do not signal what could break their composure. Instead, they cultivate controlled responses, calm under pressure, delayed reaction, measured speech, not because they feel no fear, but because they do not allow it to be seen. Fear loses potency when it is contained. It becomes information rather than exposure. You are not meant to deny fear. You are meant to metabolize it privately, study it, strengthen against it, remove its visibility. A fear that remains internal can be managed. A fear that is shared becomes shared control. This is especially critical in modern social environments where emotional transparency is encouraged as virtue. People are trained to overshare anxieties, insecurities, and past wounds. What they call healing often becomes self-sabotage, because the more you explain what hurts you, the easier it is for others to avoid your strengths and press your weaknesses. You don't need enemies when you broadcast your vulnerabilities. Machiavelli observed that cruelty, when used poorly, creates rebellion, but fear, when applied subtly, creates obedience. The most effective fear is never explicit. It exists as a possibility, a shadow, an implication, and this is only possible when the fear is known. If your fear is invisible, it cannot be weaponized. This is why silence is not avoidance, it is insulation. You do not owe the world access to your internal threat map. You do not need to confess what destabilizes you in order to be authentic. Authenticity is not exposure, it is alignment between action and intention does not require explanation. You gain strength the moment you stop narrating your inner turbulence. And now, having seen how desire and fear undermine your position, the next danger becomes unavoidable, because there is something even more valuable than what you want or what you fear. It is what you know, and revealing that may cost you more than you realize.
Knowledge creates distance. Distance creates hierarchy, and hierarchy determines who moves first and who reacts. The third thing you must never reveal is how much you understand. Most people rush to display intelligence. They correct others, they explain, they add context, they demonstrate insight. They believe this earns respect. In reality, it exposes their ceiling. The moment others know the limits of your understanding, they begin to operate just beyond it. Machiavelli understood that appearing less informed than you are is often more powerful than appearing brilliant, because intelligence, when visible, becomes something others feel compelled to challenge, test, or undermine. But intelligence, when concealed, becomes something others must assume and fear misjudging. When you show what you know, you define yourself, you collapse mystery. You turn yourself into a fixed object instead of a variable, and fixed objects are easier to maneuver around. The truly strategic mind rarely speaks first. It listens, it gathers, it lets others reveal their assumptions, their blind spots, their confidence. Every word someone speaks is a diagnostic tool. It tells you what they value, what they overlook, what they think is obvious. When you interrupt that process by showing your hand too early, you rob yourself of leverage. There is a biological reason for this. The human brain is acutely sensitive to status signals. One of the strongest of those signals is perceived intelligence. When you display it overtly, you trigger competition in those above you and resentment in those below you. Both responses are dangerous. Competition sharpens others against you. Resentment motivates quiet obstruction. Machiavelli warned that men hate being made to feel inferior more than they appreciate being impressed. So the wise strategist practices intellectual restraint, not ignorance, restraint. He asks questions he already knows the answer to. He allows others to explain, even when they are wrong. He reveals insight selectively, surgically, only when it shifts the balance in his favor. This creates a subtle inversion. People underestimate you. They relax. They speak freely. They make plans in your presence as if you are not a factor. And that is when you learn everything you need to know. Power grows in the shadows of underestimation. There is another layer to this. When you reveal how much you understand about people, their motivations, their psychology, their manipulation, you make them defensive. They become guarded. They monitor themselves. They stop being natural. Information flow slows. Access closes. If you want to read people, you must never let them know you are reading them. Machiavelli never trusted those who announced their cunning. He trusted those who appeared simple, loyal, unthreatening, until the moment action was unavoidable. Because the most dangerous mind is the one that is not anticipated. This applies directly to social intelligence. If people know you see through them, they will avoid you or perform for you. Both outcomes reduce your influence. But if they believe you accept things at face value, they reveal far more than they intend. Silence again becomes your ally. Not silence as emptiness, but silence as absorption. And now, the next exposure becomes inevitable, because even more damaging than revealing what you know is revealing what you lack, your weaknesses. That comes next.
Weakness does not announce itself loudly. It slips out in explanation, in justification, in apology. The fourth thing you must never reveal is where you are weak. Not your flaws in a general sense, not harmless imperfections, but the specific areas where you lack leverage, confidence, or alternatives. The places where pressure bends you, the points where resistance fails. Machiavelli understood that men are not destroyed by force alone. They are undone by exposure of dependency. A weakness is not dangerous because it exists. It is dangerous because it can be targeted. Most people reveal their weaknesses while trying to appear sincere. They explain why they cannot act, why they hesitate, why they need time, why they struggle. Each explanation feels reasonable, each one feels human, and each one quietly informs others how to control the situation. If someone knows you lack options, they will restrict yours further. If someone knows you doubt yourself, they will frame decisions for you. If someone knows you need approval, they will ration it. You may never see the manipulation, you will only feel constrained. This is because weakness creates predictability, and predictability invites pressure. In nature, predators do not chase the strongest prey. They isolate the injured, the slow, the uncertain, not because they are cruel, but because efficiency governs survival. Human hierarchies operate on the same principle, disguised beneath politeness and process. The moment your weakness is known, you are no longer negotiated with, you are managed. Machiavelli warned rulers never to appear dependent, not on allies, not on systems, not on public favor, because dependency reverses power. The dependent must please, the independent may choose. When you reveal weakness, you invite others to test boundaries, at first subtly, a request here, a delay there, a raised expectation. Each time you comply, the pressure increases, not because they hate you, but because compliance teaches others what is possible. Weakness trains behavior around you. This is why the powerful cultivate redundancy, options, alternatives, detachment. Even when they lack strength in an area, they never let it be seen. They redirect, they delay, they change the frame. They refuse to explain themselves fully. Explanation is often an unconscious confession of weakness. You must understand, you do not owe clarity about your limitations, you owe results, and results do not require transparency about struggle. This does not mean pretending to be invincible. That attracts challenge. It means being opaque, difficult to read, difficult to corner, difficult to pressure. When asked directly about your weak points, you deflect upward or sideways. You speak about process, not vulnerability. You discuss context, not constraint. You answer without revealing. Ambiguity protects you more than honesty ever will. And now, there is one final exposure, more dangerous than all the others combined, because it determines how people treat you at a fundamental level. It is how much you care. That is the final thing.
Care is the most underestimated liability in human interaction, not empathy, not respect, but attachment. The fifth thing you must never reveal is how much you care. The moment others know what matters deeply to you, they gain leverage that requires no force. Care creates emotional gravity. It anchors you, and anything anchored can be pulled. Machiavelli understood that attachment clouds judgment. A man who cares too visibly can be guided without realizing it. He will tolerate disrespect to preserve connection. He will soften positions to avoid loss. He will hesitate when decisiveness is required, and hesitation is the opening through which control enters. This is why power has always required a degree of emotional distance, not cruelty, distance. The ability to act without being paralyzed by reaction, the ability to walk away without spectacle, the ability to remain composed when others attempt to provoke investment. When you reveal how much you care, you teach others how to move you. If they know you care about approval, they withhold it. If they know you care about harmony, they create tension. If they know you care about someone specific, they use access to that person as leverage. This does not require conscious malice. It is an unconscious recalibration of behavior. The human mind naturally presses where resistance is lowest. Most people believe that caring openly creates loyalty. Sometimes it does. More often, it creates imbalance. The one who cares more always negotiates from below. The one who can walk away holds the frame. Machiavelli warned against appearing emotionally invested in outcomes you do not fully control, because investment invites manipulation. Detachment, on the other hand, forces others to earn your attention rather than assume it. This does not mean becoming indifferent. It means becoming selective. You choose when to reveal care. You choose when to withhold reaction. You choose when to engage and when to let silence speak. Because silence, when backed by self-sufficiency, is one of the most powerful signals a human can send. Throughout this entire progression, the pattern has been consistent. Desire exposes direction. Fear exposes boundaries. Knowledge exposes ceiling. Weakness exposes pressure points. Care exposes leverage. Together, they form the internal map others use to navigate you. Machiavelli's insight was not that people are evil, it was that people are responsive. They adjust behavior based on incentives, signals, and opportunity. If you remove the signals, you remove the leverage. If you control the information, you control the interaction. This is the inversion most never make. Power is not about domination, it is about opacity, about being difficult to read, difficult to predict, difficult to move without consent. It is about acting without explaining, deciding without announcing, and withdrawing without justification. You do not need to threaten, you do not need to posture, you do not need to reveal. You simply need to stop leaking yourself into the world.
From this point forward, understand that silence is not absence, it is presence under control. Every word you do not say preserves optionality. Every reaction you delay regains position. Every impulse you contain increases gravity. This knowledge is not meant to make you isolated, it is meant to make you sovereign. Most will continue to speak, confess, explain, and expose because it feels good, because it feels human, because they have never learned the cost. You now have. If you are still listening, it means you recognize the difference between being seen and being understood, and you know which one weakens you. This channel is not for spectators. It is for those who choose clarity over comfort, control over confession, and strategy over impulse. If you understand that power begins with what you withhold, then you already know what to do next.